Good morning, everyone. Again, just to give you a quick update, we're going to wait a couple more minutes, let a few more attendees sign on. I know it's technology, sometimes it's a little challenging, so we'll give it a little bit more time before we get started here. But thank you all that are here already on time, okay? I know it's a busy week, a lot of updates happening with the CARE Act happening. So I'm sure a lot of people are jumping off of webinars and getting out to other webinars. So we'll wait a couple more minutes and we will get started, okay?
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Sal? Okay.
Okay, guys, we're going to go ahead and get started. I hope everybody's had a great week. It's Good Friday, so happy Good Friday to everyone. Again, thank you for taking the time and joining us in today's webinar. It's a third-part series of how to continue running your business in a co-bad climate. So just a quick disclaimer. Our legal counsel is on as well, and she makes me make sure I go through this. We're not giving any legal advice. We're just simply providing information that is public, some ideas on how you guys can do better in your businesses and get through this environment that we're in right now. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Sal Ayala, CEO and founder of Unico Enterprises. In addition, I sit on the board of the California Hispanic Chambers of Commerce, as well as the Greater Riverside Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, and I'm very active in our community. So quick housekeeping tips here, not very many, just really one. We really encourage questions, so please feel free to ask as many questions as you'd like. We'll try to filter as many and answer as many as we possibly can. Whatever questions we don't have answers to, we promise you that we will definitely have those answers. There's a button at the bottom of this webinar where you can find the Q&A section. So feel free to ask as many questions as you'd like, and we will definitely be on top of those questions, okay? Alrighty, so I just want to talk about what is our objective, right? Our objective with these webinars is basically to educate our community, right? Making sure that everybody has all the relevant information that is out there, right? At the end of the day, we're all in this together, right? So we want to make sure that everybody understands what is going on and have the right resources to help your own clients, help ourselves, our families, also exchange ideas. You know, a lot of times we listen to what somebody else has to say, and it basically gives us other opportunities and ideas that we can work off of. Finally, we want to provide solutions. We want to be able to not only give you the information, but able to help you find the resources that you will need to continue working in this environment. Memo, the next slide, please. Do me a favor, Memo. Can you go back a couple slides for me, please? There you go. So I want to go over today's agenda, right? Basically leveraging technology. We're going to be talking about cybersecurity, remote access, online collaboration, because we feel that is a very important point. We also are going to talk a little bit about alternative lending. We won't get too much into that, but that's a reality in the current environment, and we're going to have to look into that. We're going to have some updates on the CARE Act as well. That is going to be presented by our council. Okay, Memo. So we created our COVAD creed, right? Basically, we must not keep fishing in the same dry pond. We must not quit. We must reinvent ourselves. We must double down on our marketing, and that's not biased. And finally, one of my favorite quotes: in good times, people want to advertise, and in bad times, they have to advertise, by Bruce Barton. So important to, again, stay positive, make sure that we are looking for all the opportunities that are out there, because there are a lot of opportunities, and doing the best we can in our communities, okay? So with that, we'll bring on Tammy. She is our plant-based health and wealth enthusiast, and we love Tammy. She always gets us riled up and ready to go. So Tammy, you're up.
Hello, everybody. Hello. Let's get started with a little energy, a little feel good before we can get started with anything. We have to feel great about going into everything with a positive attitude. I'm all for that. And with that being said, today, well, let me just tell you what I've been talking about, and what I'm going to be talking about through these series is how to remain healthy and happy during the coronavirus pandemic. We've already talked about start and maintain a routine, your diet. We're going to be talking about sleep, social interactions, maintaining our mental health. And today we're going to talk about exercising, moving that body. Now, you might want to say, well, why are we talking about that? I need to get some money. I need to get this. Because we forget that there's a virus out there. There's a reason why we are quarantined. There's a reason why we are trying to keep our businesses alive, because that means something has been taken away from us. That means the ability to how we already run our business. But in order to maintain our business, one of the components that I'm going to talk about today is exercise. Exercise during the coronavirus pandemic is extremely important. Exercise, just like diet, is medicine. Exercise is medicine. Yes, it is, because we have to get oxygen into our muscles, into our cells to move our body. So the exercise builds up the endurance because, well, let's talk about this virus. This virus, and I'm just kind of going over my notes here, affects people that are at risk, 65 and older. Also people with chronic diseases such as diabetes. I know you guys have heard them all, heart disease and lung disease, and those with compromised immune systems. And I know you guys have been watching the news, and they've been pretty much talking about most minorities that are affected, especially African-American and Hispanics, are highly affected by this, but mostly probably at the top of the totem pole are African-Americans. And I always want to say this goes back to our diet, and then our diet and our exercises together. But today, to diet, some benefits we're going to get is reduced feeling of stress and anxiety. When you exercise, you feel so much better. You let off of that unwanted stress. All stress is not bad stress. Some is good, but we want to feel good. And after a great workout, I know I feel good. I don't know about you. You sweat and you just, you get those cells working. And also increase in immune system, because we need to build up our immune system if we want to combat this virus attacking our body. And the stronger your immune system is, the less you're going to suffer from this virus. If your immune system is weak, it's going to take over it and it's going to take control, and you're going to, and your body is going to succumb to it. But you want your body to be ready. So that means that your body needs to have great oxygen coming in, and we need to be working. Now, it is recommended for Body American Survey to for 150 to 300 minutes of exercise a week. That's not that bad. If you figure most people exercise about 60 minutes a day, I always say get something in every day. Now with doing that, you want to incorporate aerobic activity, and you want to incorporate strength training. I'm tongue twisting here. Muscle strength training. So that means, listen, here's the opportunity. If you do not want to go outside and take a brisk walk, I always say, go out and have a walk. Put your little mask on, put a little cute mask on, cute little tennis shoes on. You can put some gloves on. Go out and walk. There aren't not a ton of people out there exercising. Go out, get some fresh air. Walk down to the park and walk back home. Walk your dogs. And then if you can't do that, stay in the house, walk around the house, stay up on your feet. Don't sit down at the desk. If you need to do some weight training, you don't have weights, pick up some tennis shoes, go pick up some canned goods, go pick up some things and just kind of work your muscles out. Better yet, there's a lot of deals on Beachbody, workout programs. Download you an aerobic activity. There is so much to do. Play with your kids if you have kids. But you can definitely time yourself in getting some workout, and you're going to feel good. Remember, exercise is medicine. It makes us happy. It makes us feel good. It gives us the positive endorphins. So that is my tip of the day, you guys. Exercise. It is medicine. Alleviate that stress and build the immune system. Sal,
Absolutely.
It's back to you. And I am Tammy. Get raw with Tammy.
Tammy, also, can you tell us, before we get on to the next slide, Memo, Tammy, I know that you have a channel, right? A cooking channel that you're showing folks how to eat well and so on. Can you give us that website, please?
Well, the website
for how do they reach out to you?
Well, on social media, because I do have a website. Okay. It's not live, but on social media,
maybe we can help you with that.
Well, I can turn it on at any time, but if they want to contact me, they can contact me through social media. I do have my social media outlet, Get Raw with Tammy, and even Tammy Martin Rouse. Yes, I am always posting good stuff and how to eat. They can inbox me, but I am here to help reduce or maybe increase your energy and reduce the diseases and different things like that can wreak havoc on your body.
And Tammy is also a part of, just for everybody that doesn't know Tammy, she's also the president of the Black Chamber of Commerce. And so, she's a great advocate for small businesses. At the same time, just a great human being. And we love having her on. Thank you so much, Tammy, for your insight on that. And we'll continue on here. Have a great day.
Thank you.
So up next, we have Humberto Correa. He's our CTO, and he'll be talking about leveraging technology. I think it's something that is very, very much needed in this current environment, and a lot of experience. I'll let Humberto take over from here. Humberto, welcome. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Good morning, good afternoon to everyone. My name is Humberto Correa. Just a little background on where I'm located. Our technical office is located in Brea, California. We also have operations in Mexico, in Guadalajara, Jalisco, Mexico. I'm currently right now generating this webcast directly from my home in Diamond Bar, California. So good afternoon to everyone. Look forward to meeting you guys as we develop a relationship and learn more about the storm we're undergoing right now. Technology is becoming just as important as that financial aspect that we've talked about. And being able to be flexible at these times is very important for all of us. So I want to thank you. May God bless your businesses. May God bless your health. And may you take some good notes. If you are multitasking, I recommend that you pay some undivided attention to the presentation. There's some really good information here for you. And I want you to take the best from this. It's very important what we're going to be talking about here and some recommendations. So you want to move away from the headache of on-premise based equipment. So what does that mean? Having so many things in our life as business owners is very overwhelming. And what I've learned as an entrepreneur and developing as a leader in business and technology is the more we can delegate, the more we can expand our business expansion, our business growth. And therefore, you want to have less things to manage in your life. And the less things you manage in your life, you have more peace in your life. And I think having peace in your life is very important, as much as, the wealth, independence, and growing your business and all that. But you definitely, every time you make a business move, we have to think about the domino effect it's going to have for us short-term and long-term. So the idea here is you want to move away from, if you're a small business, medium business, even if you're a large business, technology is being outsourced. Technology is overwhelming us. It's crazy. You look at one thing alone. If you look at a computer and how many different settings the computer has. I look at my iPhone and how many different settings does that iPhone have? I look at a website and there's my profile, my username. How many passwords don't I have to manage nowadays? Now you need a password management software. It's just crazy, right? So one of the things that I'm here to tell you today is we want to turnkey and we want to put everything as much as we can on the cloud. So what does that mean on the cloud? That's what we're going to be covering today. And, one of the things is you definitely want to outsource and turnkey as much as you can out to the internet. And let's go ahead and go to the next slide, Memo, if you could please support me on that one. So let's talk about remote office equipment needed first in your office. What are the essentials? The essentials you need in your remote office to conduct business, I think we've all figured them out by now. That has been, you need internet, you need your Wi-Fi, you need a good router or a firewall, okay? Most of us have a router, most of us don't have a firewall. So you want to get a firewall to protect your business, to protect your computer, to make sure you don't get hacked. The other thing is, most likely our home network probably has our children on it, has our siblings on it, or has other family members on it. We don't know what kind of infections or viruses they might have on their equipment. So a firewall helps you to protect your network and make sure you don't have any unwanted visitors on your network. The next thing you're going to need is a laptop or a PC. Hopefully we all have that. There has been employees that are working from their personal computers. And one of the things that I'm going to be talking about today is BYOD. It's an acronym for Bring Your Own Device. So there's many companies out there that don't have a laptop or a computer to give to their employees, or they can't afford it. But we thought about a solution that actually is going to work for you. There's the solutions out there that they could use their personal computers to execute business for your company. And at the same time, you could still secure your data. You could still provide security. And all you need is a computer, internet browser, and you're on your way to segmenting a part of your business computers over to your employees. We'll talk about that. By now, I think we all know who Zoom is. We all know who RingCentral is. We all know who WebEx is. We all know who GoToMeeting. They've become our best friends now, right? On our credit card statements every month. We're paying those $14.95 a month, $19.95 a month, so forth and so on. And if you're already Zooming, if you're already on RingCentral, you're on GoToMeeting, hopefully you're a pro by now. I think we're all going to become pros by the time we're all done with this COVID-19 operation. So that's the other thing you're going to need. This is very important. The next one is called VPN software. It's called VPN is an acronym for Virtual Private Network. And imagine you're at home and I take an imaginary wire and I plug it into my network at the office. And now I could see everything as if I'm sitting in the office. And that's what VPN is. Virtual Private Network, literally, it's a virtual cable that you plug into your network back at the office. And now you can see your servers. Now you can see your computers. Now you can see your printer again. And it's almost like an imaginary wire and you're back plugged into your operation at the home office. Having a VPN is very important. It gives you access to everything back at the office. The other thing it gives you is it gives you security. the number one proven security out there right now against hackers, or if you're working from a public network like a Starbucks Wi-Fi, or if you're working from a public Wi-Fi, a hotel, or you're on travel, you're on the road, wherever you're from, the VPN gives you a secure encrypted connection. That way your data is not snooped by everybody, and you can protect the data loss prevention of your company. So VPN is something you definitely need in your operation. And we're going to tell you more about how you can get all this done. The next thing you need is, hopefully you got a telephone. Most of us are operating from our smartphones. You can also operate from a voice over IP. And this is where voice over IP, we hit a home run now with COVID-19. Everybody wants voice over IP. Now they understand the importance of a regular telephone versus voice over IP. With the voice over IP phone, I can literally pick it up. I could go anywhere in the world. As long as I have an internet connection, I plug it in, and I'm conducting business as if I was sitting back in my office. So you definitely want to have a voice over IP solution. I'll talk a little bit about the different flavors of it. There's 3 different flavors of it. There's a physical phone that sits on your desk, kind of similar to what I have here. You also have something that installs on your laptop. You don't need to have a physical phone. And then you can also download an app on your phone for your telephone provider, and you can conduct phone calls, and you can make phone calls from your cell phone using an app, and it shows the caller ID of your company. So you can transfer calls, put people on hold, so forth and so on. That's called a smartphone or smartphone app, a soft phone, sorry. So anyways, so that's going to be very important. So pay attention to that part of the segment. Obviously, we all need a smartphone to conduct business. Headset has become so important, man. They're taking us for pricing gouging on Amazon. There's 2 flavors of it. What I have here is a wireless Bluetooth headset. What I look for is something, and they're pricey. Let me tell you, they're not economical. You're going to be spending for a good headset anywhere from about 130 and up. I spent $149 on this. It's a Blue Parrot headset. It's what truckers use, believe it or not. But it's a very good headset because it gives me, or at least they promise, 24 hours of talk time. That's very important. You don't want to have a Bluetooth headset or AirPods that probably go out after a couple of hours or a 1 hour and a half session. AirPods are okay. They're fine to get you through. But you definitely, if you have somebody who really needs noise reduction, somebody who needs mobility, this Blue Parrot will definitely work. The other thing is, if you want to go with a more economical solution, you go something with a wire, and that would be something like this with the USB. And what this does, this is a Logitech headset. It's a great deal for $29. You can find it online anywhere. All right. So headset is important. When you buy a webcam, the webcam that I'm using now is a 4K webcam. Those could be very pricey. So there's 3 flavors. You have a 720 edition, 1080, and 4K. Basically, it's the resolution type. So you're looking at around $100, $200, and $400, depending on which flavor you get. The 720 is $100. The 1080 averages to $200 a pop, and then the 4K would probably be in the $300 to $400 range with built-in microphone and all kinds of functions. And then the last thing that you need that's essential is your printer, and hopefully you figured out a way to go green and probably not use a lot of printing at home, and you're saving a lot of PDFs and you're saving your stuff on your local computer. All right. The last thing that I want to mention is the tips at the bottom here. Having a long iPhone charger is very important. You can find them on Amazon, a 2-meter long charger. You can keep your phone plugged. You can continue on a phone call versus having a small piece of cable that really doesn't give you the flexibility. You want to have a wireless keyboard and mouse. That's optional. That way you can have less wires on your desktop. I recommend an extension cord and 1 to 2 surge protectors. I'm going to show you an image in a little bit about that. And of course, hopefully everybody's got some sort of coffee going on at home, a Keurig machine, or for $100 if you can afford it and the budget allows. I was able to bring one from the office, so I'm kind of spoiled right now. And listen, dual monitors. If you have dual monitors, you're too cool. You probably are my best friend right now. But having dual monitors, just FYI, is good. It allows you to multitask, and it's been proven that somebody who uses dual monitors will produce 35% more work for you. So dual monitors overall in general is giving you 35% more productivity. You can multitask a lot quicker. That Lamical stand, you guys see that stand at the bottom of the picture there? This is something that I discovered is really good. I put it on my desk. I put my phone. I can have FaceTime conversations. I can have my Zoom calls. I can chat with our team, and really I don't have to hold it. So this is a great tool. It was like $9 on Amazon, $9 online on different providers, and $9 to $15 depending on how sharp of a buyer you are online. Okay, and then of course we probably have the kids going on and the whole interaction. So having a noise filter microphone. My wife was, let go of a blender the other day. I was in a very important sales call, and thank God for my headset. I was able to, filter out a lot of noise. And I was texting her, and just doing that whole jungle moves here as we figure out how to work from home. So I just want to go through some of the technology you're going to need. Memo, if you could take me to the next slide. So on the left, you have a recommended power surge protector. This is really good because you can plug in adapters, you can plug in the wide adapters, you see how you got more spaces on that surge protector. Now, this is important. On the right, we take this for granted, but being in this business and in this industry for 25 years, this is one of the number one causes of fire hazard for businesses. This is also one of the number one causes for dysfunction or malfunction of technology. It'll burn your equipment. If you're overloading a plug or connecting a surge protector with another surge protector, you're setting yourself up for some difficulties at home. So be careful. Stay away from fire hazard. Try your best. If budget doesn't allow, then let's get some extension cords going and move things around. But try not to overload one power supply plug. It's very common now that we're working from home. We have one plug on the wall, and we're overloading that baby. So you might want to be careful.
I'm gonna fail on that one.
Okay, no problem. We got to take care of you. Let's go to the next slide. I wanted to share this with you here, and we all saw this, right? The work from home moments. The kids are coming in on BBC News, a spokesperson here as he's giving the news. And hasn't that been the challenge for all of us working from home? In my personal situation, I put the camera in a way where it's pointing towards the wall. At one point, I had my camera facing towards the door, and then I have, wife coming in, people coming in through the door. And so I figured out a way to actually get my camera in a way or in a position where, I'm not going to be distorted by backdrops. So anyways, I think I wanted to share this slide because we all share this moment where we're taking care of that background and watching who's behind us. And it's just another multitasking ability that we have nowadays. So Guillermo, let's go to the next one, please. Okay, so the next three slides are very important. The first slide, we're going to talk about online collaboration. And this is I want you to take home with you today something. From all the things that I'm saying today, if there's one thing that I want you to take home today, is I want you to think about Office 365, okay? Office 365 is one of the easiest ways to get your business, to get you on the cloud, to get you to collaborate. It has a lot of the tools built in, and it's very versatile, and it works with a lot of companies. So number one, online collaboration, you need cloud storage. You have to collaborate within your internal employees. You have to collaborate with outside employees or outside partners or vendors or employees. You also have, so what you do when I'm talking about cloud storage, I'm talking like an imaginary hard drive out on the internet that you can all share. You guys have heard of Dropbox. You guys have maybe not heard of Dropbox, but there you have OneDrive. And I really enjoy OneDrive because it ties in to security, to rights. You could actually segment who has access to what information. And I'm going to be talking more about that in a little bit. And then, of course, you also have what's called SharePoint. And SharePoint is very important because there's certain folders in my business that I only want to share with the vendor or somebody outside my home or outside my company. And SharePoint gives you the ability to only share a specific folder, a project folder or something. It could be long-term or it could be short-term. You could specify dates and times. So this is cloud storage. OneDrive is included with Office 365 Business Premium. So you want to take a look at that. The next thing that's very important, number two, is online meetings and share screens. Well, if you use Teams, which comes with Office 365, you could share screens. You could chat with your colleagues, with your employees. You could chat with different personnel within your organization, also outside your organization. It's included with Office 365. The other tool that's out there that includes free screen sharing and meetings is RingCentral. RingCentral's cool. If you buy the phone service and you get unlimited calling for like 29 bucks a month, 30 bucks a month, whatever it is, whatever you can negotiate, 25, 29, 32, 37. There's so many different prices depending on how big your meeting room is. Do you want 20 participants, 100 participants, so forth and so on. But RingCentral gives you online collaboration included with their phone service. So that's a company you want to look into. Obviously, Zoom has really exponentially grown in this crisis. Zoom has been right now selling for about $14.95 a month, I think. It's one of the players right now in the market space. It's quick, it's easy to use. It works from Droid, it works from iPhones, it works from laptops, tablets, computers, you name it. So you definitely, hopefully, you've got some sort of online meeting collaboration. Once again, if you get the Office 365 package, Teams is included on there, and you can do screen share between your employees. So a lot of people don't know about Teams yet. Teams has really been taking off in 2019, 2020 now with the crisis. Lastly, Office 365. Office 365 gives you cloud office. We're talking about, it works with a smartphone, it works with a tablet, it works with the PC, it works with the laptop, it works with Mac, it works with Linux, it works with Windows, it works with a Spanish-speaking operating system, you name it. That's the most beautiful thing. It's a very versatile system. You get Word, Excel, PowerPoint, Publisher. It's all built into the license. You get Outlook email, contacts, and calendar. And one of the beauties about this that I like, so we're all used to Office, right? Word, Excel, and PowerPoint. And it's been the install version of it, right? And if I need to share it with somebody, I can't share the file, or I have to email them the file as a PDF, as an attachment. Well, with Office 365, you and I can be collaborating on the same Word document online. We could be making changes at the same time. We can be reviewing an Excel spreadsheet at the same time. We could be editing. We can make comments. We can make notes. And it's a very, very online collaborative system. So definitely Office 365, the online version of it works really well. Once again, I want you to write this down. Office Business Premium is the licensing that includes everything I'm talking about. So if you're going to buy it or if you're going to purchase it, it's out there. It is just for informational purposes. If you buy it online, you should be, if you buy the yearly license, you're going to be investing about $150 per license. Or you could, if you don't want to pay up all the cash up front, you could pay a monthly fee of $12.50 a month. And they'll give you all these tools that I'm talking about now. So like I said, if you want to get yourself on the cloud right away and you don't have the infrastructure, you don't know how, your foundation is Office 365. This really sets up that first floor so you can build your second and your third floor. Once we get out of the storm, you're ready to go, and Office 365 is the way to go. Okay? So with that said, Memo, if I could please move on to the next slide. I'm gonna look at the picture here for a little bit here. The picture on the right talks about a mobile phone. You have application. What is an application? An application could be Word, Excel, QuickBooks, PowerPoint, Adobe PDF, so forth and so on. You have databases that you need access to conduct your business. You have something that's called the private cloud and a public cloud. What's the difference? A public cloud, it's information that's out there that's shareable to public contacts, people outside your organization. So if I have a folder inside my hard drive and I want to share that folder to my vendor, I want to share that folder to my partner organization. I'm working on a project with architects, with construction people. I could share that project folder with them, and that becomes my public cloud. The private cloud is all your company information that's sitting behind security that nobody can see, and it's private and confidential to your business. It's just part of the cloud computing, okay? So that would be the OneDrive solution. I'm going to move over to point number one. Remote access, putting your business on the cloud. Assure is a service by Microsoft that allows you to create computers, virtual computers, and physical computers. Like I said, buying a computer nowadays for somebody could be very price prohibitive. Buying a laptop could cost you, $700 to $1,000 for a good Windows professional laptop. If you go with good RAM and a good i7 and the 16 gigs of RAM and SSD, man, you're on board. Your ROI should be for 5 years when you buy equipment right now. You should be looking at around 5 years, although we are replacing technology now at around 3 to 5 years. So what Assure does is it gives you a centralized server where I can share my company files, where I can share my QuickBooks, where I can share mission critical applications for my business. One of the cool things is you could find a provider out there. You could help you if you want to work with us. You know, there's flat fee services out there. You don't have to pay or you have to invest major capital expense. It's an operational expense because you're paying a monthly fee for it. You don't have to worry about upgrades. You don't have to worry about the hard drive crashing. You don't have to worry about fire, theft, or anything like that. Everything is on the internet for you, and you literally need a computer, like I said before, and a web browser, and you could have a server online and, you know, have all the functionality you need as a big enterprise company as well. There's no per hours fee for IT services. It's, you know, when you buy something online like this, a virtual computer for your employees or a virtual server, it's really cool. You just pay a monthly fee. They take care of all the services for you. You have a support number, it's 24/7. You don't have to pay an IT person. They manage it for you. They do the upgrades, they do the licensing, and you're rocking and rolling. So you definitely want to give yourself some time to chat with us, and we can point you in the right direction and tell you, you know, some of the solutions that are out there. Virtual, highly secured. So, you know, part of that is, you know, having infrastructure. You want to make sure it's fully secured. When you go and you outsource with one of these companies like AWS, Amazon servers, or you go with a Microsoft solution or a Google, you know, solution, everything that's outsourced, they're in charge of security. They got really good security. They've got great functionality, and it's all embedded to one price. Headache free. You don't have to buy a firewall, a router. You don't have to buy a yearly license. It's just all included. They make it really easy for us to be fully secured. The next thing you have is when you set up a remote access solution on the cloud, it comes with virtual private network. That's very important. We talked about that. I know right now you're saying, well, I'm at home. I don't need to protect myself that much. Nobody's going to hack me at home. But the truth of the matter is you could get an infection or a virus on your computer and then transmit that back to your business network or to other colleagues you're doing business with. So having a VPN network really protects you. It segments you away from your personal home. It protects your computer. It gives you encryption between the data you're transmitting back and forth. If you're submitting confidential information, this is very important. Somebody could definitely snoop your information from home, and you want to make sure you're on a secure connection. So the VPN, virtual private network, you got to pay attention to that. And I know it sounds, how do I set up a VPN? Well, literally, it's really, really easy. You could have a VPN set up within a couple of minutes. It's when we can show you how to do that. Well, the next thing, point number 4, is hopefully we all have a VoIP phone. And I'm talking about a soft phone for your PC or for your laptop. So it's a software that gets installed on your laptop or your computer. And then you have a headset like mine that plugs in with the USB into your computer. And now you can take phone calls from your business right from your computer. So if you don't want to buy a handset, which is going to cost you $100 to $200, you buy a $29 headset, and you're on your way to having phone service right from your computer. You could also buy a desk phone if that's something you really need, and you want to have the functionality to put customers on hold, transfer, music on hold, all that. And a desk phone might have a little more functionality for you. And then the other thing that's really new and a lot of people don't know about is called the smartphone app. And basically what that means is installing an app on your smartphone. You could use your Bluetooth headset. And what that does, it allows you to answer phone calls and make phone calls from your smartphone as if you're sitting right in your office or in your business. So keep that in mind. One of the things that I put on here, number 5, regardless of what industry you're in, regardless of what business you're in, we all have these essential departments in our companies, in our businesses. You usually have an accounting department, you have an HR operation, you have operations to run your business, you have a sales force, so a sales arm, you have a marketing department, you have an IT department like us, or you have outside collaborators as well that we need interaction with. So one of the things about having a server is online is it allows you to separate and organize your company so only certain people have access to certain data in your company. For example, sometimes we don't want our technical team in my operation or our operation to have access to billing information or finance information. So they don't know how much we bill customers for services. They do know what the problem of the customer is, but they can't see any billing information or finance information. So the other thing that you want to take into consideration is having a cloud PC. A cloud PC number 6 is a BYOD, bring your own device. So what happens is you have a customer, an employee who does not have a laptop at home. BYOD allows them to use their personal computer at home and connect back into the business. If we create a virtual PC for your employee online, then the employee, all they need is internet connection, their personal computer, and a web browser like a Google Chrome, and we can get them rocking and rolling with the high-end system, immediately. Online firewall, cybersecurity, hacker protection, everything that we do, everything that we have, everything that's out there on cloud-based is protecting you from all this stuff. So it's definitely the way to go. If you buy your own equipment and bring it in-house, you got to allocate a budget for cybersecurity, for firewalls, for updates, for licenses, and it goes on and on and on and on. So I think having less things to manage in our life again gives us more peace, and outsourcing out to the cloud is very important, especially as we can see nowadays the importance of online collaboration that we need nowadays to stay on top of things. Now, from a financial perspective, if you buy a server, if you buy any equipment, usually that is tax deductible, but it gets amortized over a number of years, usually 5 or 7 years. Our finance people know more about that. But if you have an operational expense, if you go out to the cloud and you're paying monthly fees for this stuff, that becomes 100% tax deductible. So that's something to also take into consideration. You might have more tax deductible going with an operational expense out on the cloud than having a premise-based solution. Okay. Memo, if I could have the next slide there. Okay. So we talked about online collaboration. We talked about remote access and cloud service. And the last thing I want to talk about that maybe we haven't thought about is called data loss prevention. And it's protecting your company data. So whatever solution you have, if you're working from home, on a cloud, not on the cloud, you have Office 365, you gotta pay attention to this next slide, because this is important. First of all, we talked about creating groups and departments with rights to access data. So you don't want everybody in your company accessing all your data. You want to have everything on the internet, on the cloud, protected, and you want to segment it by department or by groups. You want to prioritize your data, and not all data is equally critical, right? You might have classification of data like Social Security, as in point number 3, you could see. You have Social Security information, numbers. You have credit card number information, and we have to, if you're processing credit cards, you got to be compliant with PCI. God forbid you go through a fraud investigation, and PCI authorities do an analysis on you, and you didn't have the proper firewall, you didn't have the proper equipment, then they could remove credit card processing from your business. And they actually, they mark you and they give you a hard time to open up credit card services again in the future. So being PCI compliant is very important. So classifying this type of data, who's processing credit cards in your company? Who's moving Social Securities around? Who's moving confidential information? Are we a health organization and we got to be HIPAA compliant? So forth and so on. Are we moving confidential information? Are we doing government, subcontract work, Department of Defense? You have financial industry people like the financial management personnel. The Security Exchange Commission does not allow them to delete any data. So you need to have certain policies that you don't delete any data. So all these solutions that we're talking about are compliant with all these different organizations and security parameters that we need. Number 4, are you monitoring your data? Can your employees extract your data today, put it on a USB and keep it? What about Yahoo? I can send my information, all my customer database right now, my customer list, email it to myself, and I can export company information and Gmail it out, Yahoo it out, etc. Are you keeping an eye on that? Can you keep an eye on that? Do you have that ability? Do you need that ability? That's something you want to take into consideration. If we do a cloud-based solution that I've been talking about, you can protect all these different policies. You can protect your company data as well. Number 5, one of the things about our solution is we actually have a couple of flavors. We can install our software on your computer, or you could purchase from us, or we can acquire a laptop. Our software is embedded into CPUs. So we use this a lot for government. Basically, we can do geo tracking, GPS tracking of equipment. We can set up perimeters of equipment. So if you're doing government, we're working with a lot of local municipalities, helping them out. If you have government equipment, if you have confidential equipment and you need to track it, we can definitely track it, no matter how good the hacker is, how many times they delete the data from these laptops. The software that we have is embedded into the CPUs. It gets automatically installed again, and we can track that baby no matter where it is in the world. One of the things that we can do with it is we can remote freeze equipment, remote wipe equipment. So keep that in mind if you are government related and you need a solution that's a little more high tech, especially your Department of Defense subcontractors and FAA companies that are doing subcontracts for Northrop and other companies of government release. Number 6, this is something that's very important. It's called backup disaster recovery, business continuity. So imagine I have a laptop, right? Or an employee of yours has a laptop. Your employee is working from home, and unfortunately he gets sick due to the COVID-19, and he has to go to the hospital. So now the laptop is sitting there on his desk. He's got crucial information. And how do we continue operating the business if the information is sitting on my employee's laptop and I need access to it? So you want to find yourself a backup disaster recovery solution, a backup and image backup, a solution that backs up to the internet every night. They're not expensive. They average like about 15 to 20 bucks a month. And it takes a photo snapshot of the laptop. It puts it on the internet for you every night. So God forbid your employee gets ill, God forbid your employee leaves, or if you have theft in your company and they steal his laptop or any information, we can actually literally have the employee go out and purchase a laptop at Best Buy if that's the emergency, come back, be able to click a couple of buttons and restore his image and get him back to work immediately. That's the beauty of virtual data and the cloud and the internet. So you want to look at backup disaster recovery information out there, especially if you got a lot of employees out working from home and you don't have no control to the data. This solution that's out there, backup disaster recovery, continuity, image backup, it's a great solution to help you with that stuff. Okay. And they have different flavors. You can save data 1 year. You can do indefinite. If you're financial, government, Department of Defense, or FAA, you cannot delete any data off your servers, any text messages, any emails, nothing from Office 365. You got to save this information. So therefore, you want to find the right solution for your industry and whoever's regulating your industry as well. Literally, these solutions are so amazing that you could restore a server in 2 minutes. So this is what I'm talking about, business continuity and, keeping the business going. You want to have solutions out there on the cloud so we can move quickly and swiftly. Some of the other functionality that you'll find in data loss prevention, you could enable private screen viewing so you could see what your employees are doing on their computers. You could see their screens as well, kind of see if they're on the internet doing something they're not supposed to. You could take print screens of their computers wherever they're at. They're working from home or wherever they're at. You can literally, as a manager of the operation, you do have access, and hopefully you have that embedded into your employee policy handbook that you're authorized to do, go and analyze information, confidential information of your business and your equipment. There's call recording functionality you need to be aware of when you buy a voice over IP solution. You want to know if it has call recording. You could call record phone calls if you ever want to do that. If you're doing mission critical phone calls or collection calls, or you're doing finance calls or anything like that. Online web meeting recording as well. So like this webinar, for example, we could actually hit a button and say record, and records the entire meeting for all of us. So you could have that functionality. So if you buy an online collaboration, see if it has web recording functionality on it as well. And then you have online firewall, cybersecurity protection. Well, basically, whatever solution you go with, you want to make sure it has cybersecurity. It's got some sort of firewall, some sort of security to protect your data from hackers or somebody trying to tap into your data. Lastly, but not much, there's 2020, January 2020, the federal government imposed CMMC version 1.0. It is it's basically a bunch of small fine print that if you were doing Department of Defense, if you're doing government contracting or anything along those lines, you got to have certified software, certified solutions that are CMMC certified. So keep that in mind. That's something new. And now with all the stuff going on, other than that, everything, again, capital expenditure, which is operational. All this that I'm talking about could be an operational expense, meaning 100% tax deductible if you station it right. Okay. Hope I'm not going too fast for you guys. I'm trying to. There's a lot of information I just want to transmit to you guys, and wish I could have more time. I want to wrap it up by telling you that basically what you're looking at here is really your remote office in the box solution that hopefully you guys have to operate your business for your remote employees. So a remote employee, you see the middle, the cloud, a remote employee has a laptop, a remote employee has a telephone, and a remote employee has a smartphone. The remote employee needs to be able to do his Office 365 on top, his Word, Excel, everything on the cloud. A remote employee has to do collaboration as well with like a Zoom or something like that. You need to be able to have a dashboard to see your reports, to see where your data is going, and have some reports. That way you can have metrics in your business. I always tell, as we develop business in projects, I always tell Sal that we must have reporting in everything that we do. Technical information, you could have it, but you don't know anything about it or what's going on unless you have reports. So you want to make sure that if you buy a solution or apply a solution for your business, make sure it's got reporting capabilities that go out. And last, make sure you have your enterprise cybersecurity, your antivirus, encryption in case somebody steals a laptop and steals a hard drive. You want to have it encrypted so nobody can take the data out. And then, of course, again, VPN. All this it's really easy implementation. You don't have to order any hardware. It's online, literally in a click. In 15 minutes, we can get environments up and running for you. There's providers out there. Free training usually is included. You want to negotiate that whenever you go with the solution provider. You want to find a one-stop shop for a lot of your hardware, software, and support as well. That's very important. You want to make sure you're safe and secured. I'm reading the green box at the bottom of the slide here. You want to make sure that you have your laptop, your telephone, your internet, and your software is safe and secured. That's very important. And then last, you got to find a solution. Nowadays, everybody does unlimited IT support. You could get no per hour billing. So you want to get into contracts that have monthly fees and they give you a buffet style of service. That's really the way to go. Tier discounts, make sure you think about before you negotiate, how are you going to negotiate technology? If you got pricing for 1 license or 10, you want to go ahead and shoot for the higher number because you get tier discounts all the time. Always ask for that discount, always ask for that tier discount. And of course, wrap it all up. All this is fixed operational cost as well. So I hope that you took some notes from here. You took some good tips from here. And I will be available as well, not only being CTO for Unico Biz Solutions, but more than happy to extend my technical knowledge and abilities with your business, with your organization, and help you make sure that you're in the right path as you're going through these difficult times. But I appreciate everybody's time. I want to thank you for your time. We are at your service and hope that you have enjoyed this part of the presentation.
Thank you so much, Humberto. It was very, very informational. I took away a few things out of it myself. And again, if you guys have any questions about this, feel free to schedule a free consultation with Humberto. You guys can go to our website at unicobiz.com, and we'll be more than happy to provide you additional support if need be. Okay, so thank you again, Humberto. Up next is going to be Carmen, our legal counsel, and I'm going to kind of chime in here as well. And talk a little bit about some alternative lending options, but Carmen will take the floor next. I should say the screen, actually, not the floor.
Good afternoon, everybody. Before we get started, Sal, can you tell me a little bit about alternative loaning or lending?
Sure. So, given our current climate, obviously what we're seeing right now with the CARE Act is that it's becoming very apparent that we're going to have a difficult time accessing all that capital immediately, right? Government is not putting the money out fast enough. Banks are having issues with processing applications. Qualifications are not going to be there. So there's a lot of things that we have to be concerned with. I know there's more money coming out. So alternative lending is actually becoming a very big reality as to how we can keep our businesses alive, right? How we can continue to overcome this situation. So, there are business term loans out there. Requirements vary. There are different interest rates that you can still get something very decent between 7.9% interest, 1 to 4 year term loans. Those are the business term loans that we might be able to help you get involved with. By the way, our director of this department unfortunately had an appointment to go to with the existing client, so he wasn't able to make it. So I'm pitching in here to help out, right? But the reality is that there are other options out there. Accounts receivable financing. Again, we need to be very careful with the predator lending that is out there and not fall into that trap, because it can be a revolving door. But also be cognizant that there are other options. It's not only the CARE Act that can help you get through this difficult time, especially if you're at a critical point where you just need to get over the hump and keep your business alive. You don't want this to be a situation where you have to close doors and you're not going to be able to continue your business because you don't have the proper financing. So again, term loans, accounts receivable loans, obviously equipment financing is also out there, working capital loans. They all vary in interest depending on the term and of course, credit scores, consumer financing up to $15,000. So those are just some of the programs that are out there. But again, if you guys need more help on that, that you can't get through the CARE Act, that's something that we can help with.
Sal, so talking about the CARE Act, can you tell us a little bit about the Paycheck Protection Program? We spoke a little bit about it during Module 2.
Yes, so the Payment Protection Program is basically designed to help you overcome the immediate operating expenses that you have in your business, right? So for example, your payroll, right? The Payment Protection Program is going to give you, the loan is not based on what you want, it's based on your payroll. So 2.5 times your payroll. It's meant to help you with your overhead, which is your, again, payroll, your rent, utilities, again, just in operating your business. And it's a loan that it also will be forgiven after the initial term of it. You basically reapply to try to get it turned into a grant versus an actual loan.
Perfect. And so effective today, we have independent contractors and self-employed will be able to apply. Sal, can you tell me a little bit about what Unico Biz is doing to help small businesses?
Sure. So what we're doing with Unico Biz is we're basically handling all the application paperwork, making sure that we're setting them up to succeed. So what's happening is, once you get the money, you also have to be cognizant of the fact that you have to prove that that money that you're receiving is being used for the proper use, right? What the government is trying to avoid is people taking advantage of this money and not paying it back and not applying it for what it's meant to be used for. So at the end of the day, the money that is coming in, the way we're doing is making sure you're in compliance, making sure that we are getting the application submitted to the vendors for you in a timely manner, and post the loan, helping you reapply for the grant to make sure that you are able to get that grant.
And is Unico Business helping with the payroll calculations?
Absolutely. So that's something that we are also monitoring and helping the businesses make sure that they're calculating their payroll properly, that they're fully taking advantage of the state and local taxes that can be included as part of the payroll to increase the loan amount to help them get over this hump.
And I think we previously said that we couldn't include federal taxes, but that changed last week. So you are able to include your FICA taxes, which is your Social Security and your Medicare. Now, Sal, does Unico have a list of documents that you need that could help our viewers?
Absolutely, absolutely. So you can go to our website and we'll put that list of documents there, right? So, but you can see them here as well: payroll summary, payroll taxes, rent, mortgage, interest costs, utilities, and any type of, for example, your 941s, as well as your P&Ls are going to be needed so that we can calculate your expenses, your cost of goods sold. So yes, all those documents is important that you start preparing them and get them ready. And the ideal situation is that you have a complete package and that you're providing the proper information that they're going to need so that your application isn't turned back or denied, and basically made it to last longer before you can get your money.
And you're also going to be taking applications for contractors and self-employed, correct? So not just small businesses?
Absolutely. As of today, they're opening up the applications to independent contractors, so we'll be able to help with that as well.
And if you guys want more information on the PPP program, make sure you check out Module 2 of ours, and they can find that on the website, correct, Sal?
Yes, they can go onto our PPP section of the website, actually the CARE Act section of the website, and they'll be able to find this information there.
Okay. Thank you, Sal.
All righty. So thank you, Carmen, for giving us that update on what's happening with the CARE Act. So next here, we're going to have Denise Meredith, CEO of World's Best Connector. Super excited to have you on, Denise. Denise comes to us from Arizona, and she's a great partner of ours. And I'm not going to speak more about her. I'll let her give a little bit of her background and talk a little bit about the World's Best Connectors.
Oh, thanks a lot, Sal. Really appreciate being invited. This is very helpful to a lot of people. And, I'm CEO of World's Best Connectors, and the WBCs is a virtual organization. So we're a little bit ahead of our time. We are consisted mainly of all of CEOs and business owners. A lot of people who don't like to go to meetings or who don't like to go to networking events. And guess what? Here, perfect opportunity for us. So most of our work is done virtually through emails, webinars, chat rooms, etc. We have one main goal, and that's to help other CEOs and corporations strengthen their connections to family, employees, clients, government, and the media. And as Sal mentioned, he's one of our strong partners. He does all my marketing for me. So this is something to think about. All you CEOs out there, having your own marketing department is fantastic. It frees you up to do what you really are skilled at and really want to do. So I appreciate the great work that Sal and his group do. We have a few things coming up. I just want to mention quickly. Our conference, luckily, I guess, was not scheduled until October 23rd. So as far as we know, that's still on. It's October 23rd, 2020. And believe it or not, the theme of it was before this and still is how to sustain your business during chaotic times. We had no idea times were going to be this chaotic, but it so happens that our conference is even more relevant than we thought it was going to be. This conference is presented by Arizona State University. Arizona State University is one of our major partners. I want to let people know that we have very strong partners. If you want to come down to our conference, October, here in Arizona, we're going to be having the information out on that next week. So you can start signing up already. It's very limited, I will tell you, as far as numbers. We like to keep things small and intimate and productive. So you probably need to jump on that right away if you want to reserve your seat. ASU, as I mentioned, is our main presenting sponsor, but we have also people like the Arizona Commerce Authority, Greater Phoenix Economic Council, the Arizona Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, et cetera, et cetera. And we try to specialize in helping companies that are involved with IT or commercial development, but we have services that are available to everyone. We have some really great advisors in the commercial development category. We have people like Jonathan Kersey, who's written books about commercial development. He's a best-selling author. Sharon Harper from Plaza Companies, who is always putting up new shopping centers every time you turn around here. Jerry Colangelo, which most people have heard of, from the sports world. We do a lot of things related to helping people in sports, athletes, as well as sports organizations. But again, we're open to everyone. So I want people really to think about that conference coming up, put save the date down, and you'll be hearing more about that. We also have some.
Can you give us your web address before I forget? I want to make sure they know your website.
Oh, yeah. Okay. It's www.thewbcs.com. So it's www, the world's best connector, thewbcs.com. And if you go to the website, hopefully you can go there. You can sign up to get more information on our events. We have a lot of different webinars coming up. Sal's an example of types of opportunities that our partners present. There was an excellent, really good webinar earlier this week from Delmar Johnson. And one thing I'll mention, our group is national. So Sal is in California, Delmar is in Tennessee, so we're open to everyone. But Delmar gave a great presentation, her and her partners, about how to handle at-home employees. Okay, we get a lot of information on the financial issues going on and how to apply for your loans that it looks like now you might not get, et cetera, et cetera. But when it gets right down to it, for a lot of businesses, everybody is scattered now all over the valley or all over the state or all over the country. How do you manage that? So we're going to be putting out some information next week in a kit that we have. It's called a Review and Recovery Kit from WBC. And in that, Delmar, for example, will have some templates that you can use that can help you develop checklists and ways of helping your employees that are at home and helping you manage them. I'll sort of wind it up. I will say that Arizona was the fastest growing state in the country. And it was also one of the top, I think like 1 or 2 in business development before this happened. And we will be that way after this happens. So if you were thinking about moving, I'm trying to get Sal to move down here. If you were thinking about moving here to Arizona, please let me know. You can get me at info@thewbcs.com, and we will try to give you help. As I mentioned, things like the Commerce Authority, GPEC, and these other people, we work as a partnership, as a collaboration in businesses that want to move to Arizona or businesses that just want to do business with Arizona. So we can help you out that way. I'll just mention really quickly and sum it up this morning. There are a lot of great webinars on. Alliances is a networking group here in town that's very strong, very good group. And they had a special presentation today from Ziad Aldanor, who is a billionaire. So not too often you get to hear from real billionaires. And he said people think he's crazy, and that's probably true, but he's also very successful. So there's a lot to be learned from him. But he talked about the 3 things that you need to succeed as a business person: guts, brains, and compassion. So everybody that's on this call, you already have those 3 items. So hang in there. And the other thing he talked about was something that Churchill had said during World War II, that if you're going through hell, just keep going. Okay? So don't stop. And I really, everybody who, Sal and his group and everybody who's on the call, you're the ones who are really trying to hang in there, and we will succeed. This will be over. And again, would like to offer our services to help you get to that point. Obviously, we're still in business, which is the type of business that we do. So we would like to help you get through your business until the recovery is in place. That's it. Now.
Thank you, Denise. And you know, before you go, I do want to say, I mean, Denise is an amazing person. I try to surround myself with people like Denise and everybody else that is part of our team, because at the end of the day, we're all in it together. We're all here to collaborate, to get ideas, to help each other out, and come out of this, in the best way possible. Obviously, we offer a lot of these services that we have here as we're presenting, but more than just trying to get you to come on and bring your services to us. Obviously, we would love to help you, but you need to know what's out there and what's available, right? No matter where you are. But yeah, going back to Denise, going out to Arizona, believe me, my wife is pushing me on that. She's been looking at houses out there, so who knows? Maybe we will be. Maybe out to Arizona. So thank you so much, Denise, for your collaboration and for supporting Unico as well.
It's 75 degrees and sunny right now, so
it's raining over here in California, believe it or not. All right, thank you so much, Denise.
Thank you.
Okay,
thank
everybody, we also want to just basically briefly thank all of our chamber partners for joining, for helping us, bring all this information to light for everyone. The California Hispanic Chamber, the Pomona Chamber, the Inland Empire Regional Chamber, the GRHCC, of course, the Black Chamber, World's Best Connectors, the Antelope Valley Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, Inland Empire Business Journal, Alliance of Multicultural Entrepreneurs, our newest partner, and obviously Latino Tax Pro. I think we have Tony on the line as well. If you guys have any tax questions, feel free to go ahead and ask those questions, and we'll be bringing them on to answer any questions that you guys may have. So let's go ahead and go on to the next screen here, Memo, to the Q&A. Resources, real quick. Thank you. We're going to have all of our resources. Just go ahead and go to the last slide, please. We're going to have all of our resources available to you online. You can go here to Attack Back, UnicoBiz/Attack Back. All these presentations will be online as well as other additional resources that you may want to use. And next, we want to see if we have any questions. I think we've answered a few of these questions as we were going through the presentation. But again, anything else that we can possibly help you with, feel free to reach out to us. If you guys have any additional questions, we can still answer them here on the call. Like I said, we have Tony from Latino Tax Pro. He's a great organization, and they have a lot of resources as well. So I don't see any more questions coming in at this point. So with that, I think I'm going to go ahead and end it. Anybody else on the panel that has anything any feedback? Memo, can we put everybody back on?
Some people just wanted the website again, so I'll put it in the chats so you can see it.
Okay.
Okay, so it's,
sure.
There we go.
See here. So the website is thewbcs.com. So I apologize. We had you're supposed to have put that on the
That's
slide,
right.
and a little feedback.
And people can contact me too if they need more information or have questions later
Absolutely.
today. Okay.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
So again, the WBC, THEWBCS.com. And also, anything else that you may need regarding any of the services that we have to offer, feel free to go onto our website and schedule a consultation. They would be more than happy to assist you with that. So with that, I sign off unless anybody else on the panel would like to chime in. Carlos, Tony, Carmen.
Just want to thank everybody for being a part of this webinar, and continue to share everybody, this link. So every Friday you can receive information that is valuable to sustain your business. Thank you for attending.
I thought about one quick thing I wanted to mention too. There's a lot of information on a lot of help for your business. So one thing that I just happened to hear about, luckily, and I was able to use, but if you have an SBA loan, you can call your bank that gave you that loan and get a deferment on those payments. So
great information.
That's not something that makes CNN, because it's not, I guess, a big enough issue. But a lot of people maybe on this call do have SBA loans for their businesses. So, but you have to contact your bank, and they can give you a deferment for, I think it's like 2 or 3 months.
Nice. Very good.
Awesome. All right, guys. Well, thank you very much. Have a great rest of your Good Friday, and thank you for joining the webinar.
Take care.
Bye.
Take care.
Bye.